I want to speak to the young, adolescents and young adults in particular, who are about to embark on their soul-shaping journeys in a more conscious way and make lasting life choices. I don't want to pretend that I know something you don't, or to try to take over your experience, but I do want to share a few of the principles I have learned with you, tools that might just help you along or call out to your own intrinsic knowing. The first principle is what I call only soul knows in soul shaping. There may be people around you who are telling you what decisions to make as to your future. Their advice may serve you because it is essential that we take care of our basic needs on the path, so that when we try to go higher in our life, we have a foundation to stand on. I call this ascending with both feet on the ground in soul shaping, grounded spirituality. But we also have to understand the limits of their advice. They may know what is practical for you, but they cannot know what path your soul is here to walk. No way, no how. Many prior generations made many key decisions from a perspective of practicality and survival, where it was okay to be inauthentic in the name of staying alive. And to some extent this is still very much the world when it comes down to it. But there is more to consider too. And what there is to consider is the uniqueness of your own path. You see, inside of you is like a library. Let's call it the library of you. That library contains your soul scriptures. There they are, sitting on the inner shelf. Those scriptures are your pathways of possibility in your life. Certain gifts and callings that want to be humanifest. Certain lessons you're here to learn, often difficult in the school of hard knocks, the school of life. And certain key individuals, your soul pod, that you're here to encounter and learn with. People of resonance who you will grow through your contact with. The only one who can know what your scriptures look like is you. It's kind of scary sometimes to accept that, but it's true. You are the only one who can know why you're here. And this is the work of our life, the real work, to raise the little voice of truth to the rafters of consciousness through whatever practices call out to you. It's hard work, what I call divine perspiration, but the only path worth taking. The second thing I want to convey is that it's okay to be confused. In soul shaping, I say flake it till you make it. This means it's okay to live in the not knowing and to experiment with possibilities until you have a clear sense of directionality in your life. Not in an ungrounded and avoidant way, but in a way that is courageously explorative. Depending on how many obstacles you have to overcome and how many lessons you're here to learn, it may take a long time. But who cares? Who says you need to know who you are by 25? What's that all about? Whose storyline is that? I didn't come to peace with path till my 40s and I'm not done yet. I mean, real growth takes time. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. It's still progress. Third, I encourage you to define success only in terms of your cellular journey. Success is simply the completion of a soul step, however unsightly it may be. Doesn't matter how it looks, we have finished what we started when the lesson is learned. What a fear-based culture calls a wonderful opportunity may be fruitless and misguided for your soul. I was ready to become a major trial lawyer, but knew on some deep level that while my ego would be gratified and my neurotic security issues quieted, I would not be a success in the ways that meant anything to me on a deeper level. If your calling is to become a monk or to live a very simple life after many complicated past lives, then honoring that is perfect. Fourth, I encourage you to do your emotional homework. Your personal issues, your unresolved emotional material is not distinct from your spiritual journey. It lives at the heart of it. Doing the emotional work accomplishes 2 things. It creates space inside so that your true path can reveal itself. And it allows you to actually grow in your spirituality. Your emotional material is the karmic field where your soul's lessons are harvested. Repressed emotions are unactualized spiritual lessons. By working through our triggers and any carryover pain, we transform spiritually. I'm not talking about wallowing in your stuff. That can be as avoidant as any bad habit. I'm talking about a genuine and focused working through your material, taking the stuff through the soul-shaping birth canal until the lesson is revealed. The more work you do, the more aligned you will become with the universe, and the easier it will be to hear the cellular phone when it rings. The cellular phone is your pipeline to divinity. It's the Divine Mother calling you to the next step on your journey. The more inner work you've done to clear the lines, the clearer the connection. Fifth, I want to encourage you to be courageous. When you make the decision to live a conscious life, you're going to be challenged. The soul-shaping birth canal is still so narrow on this planet, and to get through it, to convert your experiences into the growth material that you need to be persistent and faith-driven and develop the capacity to see the light at the end of the tunnel, even when you appear to have reached a dead end. Growers are inchworms. It takes time, lots of integration to shape the soul to the next stage in its journey towards wholeness. To get there, persistence, persistence, persistence. Anyone who tells you that the self-birthing process is easy is probably not telling you the truth. Sixth, I want to encourage you to build your ego strong. Not your unhealthy ego, not the ego that has an arrogance or a falsity about it, but the healthy ego, the strong sense of self, the awareness of your own value and inherent potential. There's a real tension out there between the Western message, build the ego strong, and the Eastern message, dissipate the ego, evaporate into essence, connect to oneness. It's been my experience, which is all I can speak from, that a healthy and assured sense of my own value was essential to my tapping into the unity consciousness field of awareness in a sustainable way. It is easier to evaporate into essence when you have someone to come home to. I call it Western consciousness now. The idea that we weave together the quest for emotional health and healthy ego development fundamental to the West, and the quest for essence intrinsic to many models of Eastern spirituality. The better defined your boundaries are, the deeper and more genuine your experience of oneness. So let's not throw out the ego with the bathwater, particularly the parts of the ego that can help you to actualize your cellular callings. Seventh, I want to encourage you to live for truth. People often talk about living in the moment, but it's been my experience that we do not live in the moment if we are not living in truth. No matter what anyone tells you, truth is the gateway to the moment. It doesn't matter how many things we achieve or how many things we master if we are not honoring our authentic path. The moment we lie, we leave the moment. Last, and yes, certainly not least, and you may not believe this yet, but I know for sure that you hold within you magnificence. Do not hide that magnificence. Do not hide your light under a bushel of shame. We are each here to uncover and honor profound reasons for being, however humble they appear. So many tried to make it down the birth canal and didn't make it. You did. You're here as part of a sacred dance, the dance of divine imagination. And you have things to do that really matter. If we get off the dance floor, we postpone others' lessons too. If we stay on it and honor our true path, we expand our souls and the souls of humanity one step closer to the God Self. At the heart of all of us is sacred dynamite. You are sacred dynamite. When you identify your true path, you explode into a realm of unlimited possibilities. What seemed profound before becomes just the tip of the iceberg. If you are lucky enough to have some contemplative moments before the end of your life, what will decide how you feel in your own skin is whether you honored your own path courageously and heartfully, in whatever form it needed to take for you to come to peace. Peace with path is everything. That's where the joy is. That's where the deep, long, grateful breaths are. Peace with path. Walking in no one's shoes other than your own. Following the path of the Master's footsteps, your own.